Hey guys, it's Asian Gym Stunt Double here, Tombox. And today, we're looking into Phantom Revenge. Look, this is a deck build set, and with a deck build set, that just means another 7,000 word soup gumbo for you guys to digest. Or you can have me, Tombox, take all of this and digest it for you guys and just bird feed it back to you guys. Okay, that sounds so wrong. After the next 10 minutes, you will know every single card of Phantom Revenge based off of their playstyle, themes, and gimmicks. And it will be condensed into 800 words or less. So hit that like button, hit subscribe, ding that notification bell. As for my honest opinion about what I think about this set, this is a late bloomer set. It's not going to be very good on the release. It's not really good for Genesis either. Given that previously I thought Silver Core, Rescue Ace, and I think Memento were all kind of crappy archetypes, which eventually all made it to some level of competitive play. I think if they're cheap enough, pick them up along the way and just wait for the new support that come out for them, and maybe they'll actually make a splash. And even then, in terms of money, if they hype up during then, you can sell it then, or if they do become meta, then you can either play it for cheap or you can just flip them off. Doesn't really matter. That's how I think about this current set, because they really have too tight of a restriction to the point that if they want to fix it with additional support, they have to make broken support. And starting off with the Killer Tune, no, we're not going to call them Cool Tune, because that is a very kind of tell me you're a boomer without telling you're a boomer moment. Okay, so we have a set of main deck monsters, 4 of them to be exact, and they're levels 2s and 3s. Across the board, they're all tuner monsters, and they all have one gimmick that you have to remember. They can synchro with monsters in the hand as long as that other monster in hand is also a tuner. So that's the effect that they have. And so they all have a summon related effect, and then they also have a sent to graveyard as material effect as a synchro material, and it's both of these are hard ones to return. And the names of the monsters are Mix, Q, Reco, and Clip, all related to audio mixing related I guess words. And in terms of the monster, we have Mix on normal or special. You get to add a non-level 2 Killer Tune monster, so the level 2 can't add a level 2, and when you synchro this card off, it becomes a target a monster on the field and pop it. Target one of your opponent's monster and pop it. Then there's Killer Tune Q. This is a level 3. This is the tour guide of the deck. You know, you get to normal summon this card, you get to special summon a tuner out of your deck, but this locks you into only summoning out tuners for the rest of the turn. In terms of sent to the graveyard trigger, so the one previously pop monsters, this one excavates cards off the top of the opponent's deck, and you get to banish one, and then you get top or bottom deck the other. Killer Tune Reco is the Fiend Fire tuner, which is why it has slight overlaps with the Red Dragon archetype. Anyways, on the normal special, add a non-level 3 Killer Tune monster to your hand, and when this card is synchroed, then you can pop an opponent's spell or trap card. Then there's Killer Tune Clip. This is the hand trap. This is an opponent's main phase quick effect. It can summon itself out and perform a synchro summon, and when you do synchro this one off, it has the extra deck rip. So you have the deck, the spell, the trap, and the extra deck random rip face down, banish it, and that's what it does. As for the extra deck, you can split them into level 4 and lower and level 5 and higher. Level 4 and lower monsters, they share the same features as the main deck monsters, such as being able to synchro with another tuner in your hand. So we have Trackmaker being the level 4, and on special summon of Trackmaker, you add a Killer Tune card into your hand, and on a graveyard synchro trigger, you get to bounce one of your opponent's cards, a generic card, so it's very useful. It does target. As for level 5 and higher monsters, their particular gimmick is that they have a tuner related continuous effect that often relate to attack or protection, and then there is also a quick effect to gain control. Now there's Remix, Red Seal, and Loudest War. Remix has the effect to gain 1500 attack if the opponent has a tuner in their graveyard or on their field, and has the quick effect to tag out and do an effect that's very similar to what Yummy do. They tag out, they tribute this card, add one and summon one tuner from the graveyard that's non-synchro, and then immediately perform another synchro summon, giving you that additional control from those monsters alone. Then there's Red Seal, which lets you gain 300 attack for every single tuner in the graveyard, and also boost the level of monsters your opponent controls by 1 if their OG attack is 17 and under. The quick effect of this is very generic, much like Red Dragon, Archfiend Abyss. Target a face-up card on the field and then negate the effect. Very simple. And then there's Loudness War, which offers your tuners protection. Other tuners gain protection from popping and targeting with a quick effect to respond to your opponent's activating effects. You get to banish a Killer Tune monster and copy the synchro trigger effect of that monster. And that sums up these monsters right here. Killer Tunes have 2 spells and 1 trap card. Across the board, if you activate any of the monster-related effect, you'll be locked into special summoning out tuners only. So starting off, we have Killer Tune Synchro with a quick play spell. You get to activate this card twice per turn. You get to add a Killer Tune card, and then after you do that, you get to use the effect to perform a synchro summon for a tuner monster. As for Juke Joint, the field spell, you get to tribute a tuner, you get to add or special summon out a killer tune monster from your deck, and this card also offers you additional normal summon for a tuner monster. And then this killer tune playlist essentially only has one real effect here, where you get to target a killer tune in the graveyard and add it to your hand, or copy that monster's synchro material effect. Next archetype, we're going to look into catching these Hecahands. They are a true illusion archetype. They cannot be destroyed by battle, and they cannot destroy monsters by battle. And how appropriately named, they have sticky fingers. They like to borrow the opponent's cards because they like to steal them over and use it against them, whether it be monsters, spell, or trap cards. The main deck monsters are split into two sides, the light illusions and the dark illusions. The light illusions, they kind of remind me of Sasuke from Naruto when he had the cursed seal and we get the hand wings. This one has a bunch of hand wings as well. Now these light monsters, they are for consistency, they have a deck filtering effect, and they have a graveyard play. Now for the deck filtering, you can reveal the card in your hand and they'll do something. Now the blue hand will deal with the monsters and the red hand will deal with spells and traps. So Eyeball is the blue hand. If you reveal this, shuffle this back in, you get the special summon a Hecahands in defense mode from the deck. If you send this card to the graveyard, you can target one of your Hecahands monster in your graveyard and special summon that out. So that's the blue hand sent to graveyard effect and the hand reveal trigger effect. Now Hecahands Yaddle, on the other hand, deals with the spell, so you get to add a Hecahand spell or trap card from your deck. And then if it's sent to the graveyard, you can also target a Hecahand spell or trap in the graveyard and reset it back onto the field. So that's what they do. As for the other monsters, they have the same summon trigger across the board. If your opponent adds a card, not in the draw phase, you get to special summon these cards from your hand. But only one of them is a hand trap, and all of these have a stealing base effect. So Goddess, Brias, and Gygus. Goddess is the one that someone will probably try to play as a hand trap, because during the opponent's main phase, as a quick effect, you get to target one of the monsters in their graveyard and special summon to your side of the field. As for Brias, Brias is the one that rips from the hand. During the main phase, you get to check your opponent's hand, one card in their hand, and then if it's a monster, you get to special summon it. As for Gygus, this is the one that most people are probably going to summon forward. It's the one that excavates the 3 cards off the opponent's deck, and then if there's a monster in them, you get to special summon one of those monsters onto your side of the field and then shuffle the deck. So this is pretty interesting stuff. Moving on to the next set of cards, the extra deck. For extra deck, there's Jaza and Xeno. Jaza is your bridging piece where you get to either fusion it for it normally, or you get to contact fuse for it using any illusion and a monster stolen from your opponent's side. Essentially, if you get to resolve one of your dark monsters once and you steal one of their monsters, you can contact fuse for this card. The effect is to add a Hecahands card into your hand. Very generic, very easy to do. And then there's Hecahands Xeno, the boss monster deck with 3,400 attack. It's pretty big, and what makes it very scary is that it also steals your opponent's extra deck card. So nothing is safe. You get to check 2 random cards from your opponent's extra deck, and that's a main phase quick effect. Special summon one of them onto your side. It's kind of permanent, and if this card is destroyed by card effect, by your opponent's card effect, you get to take control of all your opponent's monsters permanently. For spells and trap cards, the trap cards are easy. Let's go over those first. There's 2 counter traps, one to negate spells and trap cards, and the other to negate monster effect. The condition is that you have to control a Hecahands monster, which is very, very easy. And if you do destroy the card that you negated, you get to set it to your side if it's a spell or trap card, or summon it to your side if it is a monster effect. Now, as with the spell cards, there's Hecahands and there's also Hecahands Charterist. Hecahands is your main search card that also provides your opponent with the ability to draw a card and discard a card, so this can help you trigger a lot of those Hecahand dark monsters. Now it searches for a Hecahand monster, but it also has a kicker cost. If you send one card you control on the field, you get to also set a Hecahand spell and trap from the deck. So that's the additional cost you can choose to pay. Now you can banish this card from the graveyard, your opponent draws 1, you discards 1. Now as for Hecahands Tartarus, there's 2 effects. This card doesn't say that you can activate it once per turn, but each effect is once per turn. If you control a Hecahands monster, you get to bounce one of your opponent's spells and traps, but it's also a fusion spell where you can fusion for a Hecahands monster by banishing the material from the field and graveyard. But given with the special condition that if you control one of your opponent's stolen monsters, they are treated as a Hecahands monster, so this helps fuel for those big Hecahands fusion monsters, and that's their entire lineup. And finally, the last archetype here, Enneacraft. It's a flip effect archetype. It's not truly a pendulum, but all the monsters are pendulums, so you can't play this in Genesis, but you'll never be able to pendulum summon with this deck because it locks all of your monster summons into face down special summons. So yeah, pendulum summon is not happening, and the only scale you have are zeros, okay? It's very limiting. The level range is between 1 and 9, with the level 9s having Blue Eyes White Dragon stat points and level 1s having 100 attack only. Now, the pendulum effect. they all share one. Whether it be level 1 or 9, each time a monster is flipped, you get to add one Synquisition counter onto the card, okay? And that relates to the burn effect to the spells. Now, on the left side, it's the level 1s. That's going to be your Surge effect. You get to pay 9 and feel fine. Reveal 3 of your Enneacraft monsters, and then you get to put one random one into your hand and shuffle the rest. If you're playing with the level 9s, you have an end of battle phase effect. If both your scales are Enneacraft, you get to pop a monster with less attack than this card, which means you get to pop a monster with 3,000 or less. And for the monster effect, they all share one monster effect, which is to special summon a monster face down. You can reveal the Enneacraft monster, and then you get to special summon out a monster face down. And this is what locks you into summoning face down. And in terms of the level 1 effects, level 1, they have a flip effect, and then they have a self-flip quick effect to add. As for the level 9s, they have a flip continuous effect. So after they flip themselves face up, there's a continuous effect that is applying, and then they have a self flip up quick effect that isn't to add. The conditions for each of these is different, so let me just give you guys a new chart here. These are your level 1 Enneacrafts. There's the red one, the green one, the yellow one, and the blue one. So there's Orgia, there is Okneria, Alzonia, and Tremaria. I'm not sure if that's how they're named. You can call them Tro, Al, Oak, and Org. And each of them, these level 1s, they have a self-flipping cost, and the cost depends on which condition is being met. The red one, if a monster activates in the hand, then you get to activate this by flipping a face up and add an Enneacraft card. All of them will add an Enneacraft card at the end. It's just the condition that is different. The green one relates to the Graveyard and Banish, so they activate a monster effect from Graveyard or Banish, flip the face up, add the Enneacraft. The yellow one relates to cards being added into hand, so if a card gets added to your opponent's hand, well, you get to flip this face up and add a card yourself. And the blue one relates to special summon based effects. If they activate a card that includes a special summon, flip it face up and add, well, your Enneacraft card into your hand. But that's just the self-flipping effect. That's a cost. And after you meet this cost, you also meet the condition of the flip effect trigger. So the red one pops an opponent's monster and does not target. The green one shuffles back 3 cards out of the opponent's graveyard or banish. That is also non-target. If your opponent adds a card in their hand using the yellow one and then you do the effect, you get to banish one random card out of their hand. And as for the blue one, this is your negation availability. You get to negate one of your opponent's face up effect monsters till the end of the turn. So essentially, you get to add a card and then on a new chain trigger the next effect. So for the level 9s, they are now transformed into the monster form, so they have a self-flipping quick effect cost, so that flips them face up, and then they also have a flip effect. After their flip face up, they will do something else, which could be continuous or it could be a trigger effect, but now it's a little bit different compared to before. So we have the red one, Pixia. When your opponent activates a card that targets your card, you get to hand rip your opponent, banish it, one card in their hand face down, and then if its cards flip face up, your opponent cannot target any cards on the field and graveyard. I think it includes their own, so it's fantastic floodgating. Then there's the Scorpion, Archand, the Tail, and if your opponent activates a card that would destroy cards on the field, monsters you control, I guess monsters and Enneacraft spells cannot be popped this turn. So this will automatically provide you with the protection once you flip it face up. And after you flip it face up, anytime a monster is sent to the graveyard, your opponent will be burning for 900 life points. So a continuous burn effect that's lasting forever. Fantastic. Then there's the Leon. And when your opponent activates a card in response to your card, you get to bounce 3 of your opponent's cards back for the flip effect, or for the self-flipping cost. It's kind of confusing here. And the continuous effect after this flip face up, your opponent will burn 900 life points each time they add a card from the deck to the hand. Then there's the Whale. This is the Omni Negate. When your opponent activates a card or effect on your turn, you get to flip this card face up, negate the activation of this card, pop it. And this one comes with a trigger effect when it's flipped face up. You get to book all of your opponent's monsters, and they cannot change battle position. For the Enneacraft spells, you have 2 normal spell cards and 1 field spell. Enneapolis, the Synquisition City, and then you have Enneacraft Rebirth and Release. Release is related to the pendulum effects. You get to scale 1 of them from the deck straight onto the pendulum zone, or if it's in the grave, you get to banish, and you get to add back one of your extra deck face-up Enneacraft monsters. Okay, so it's purely related to the pendulum mechanic of things here. And the Enneacraft Rebirth, this is your draw engine. You get to shuffle back from your hand or field and or field Enneacraft monster cards, specifically worded cards, so that you can even take Enneacraft pendulum monsters that are on the pendulum scale, and basically draw that many cards equal to the number of ones shuffled back. So kind of risk-free draw engine here after you gained all the advantage from each of those cards. But this one has an interesting effect when it comes to being banished, because it's a trigger-like effect. When your opponent normal or special summons a monster, you get to banish this card from the graveyard, and then special summon a Enneacraft monster from your hand face down, or you get to flip one of your face down Enneacraft face up, which is also pretty neat. Now, what about Synquisition City? It has an end phase trigger-like effect where you get to remove all of your Synquisition counters, and it deals 900 damage per to your opponent, and once per turn, you get to target X amount of Enneacraft pendulum monster that flip face up in the main phase, and you could either return them into the hand, or you could put one of them into your pendulum scale. Okay, we went over time thanks to Enneacraft, like pendulums, right? Okay, but regardless, we try to cover as much as possible, and if you guys enjoyed the graphics in this video that help you kind of memorize what these cards do, hit that thumbs up button, hit subscribe, ding that notification bell. This set, buy low, sell high, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.